start off and just say a few things. I'm very optimistic because there's so much desire in here and out in this group and in the C3 and in the hacker community in general to make a better world. And there's so many smart people here who are working for solutions, and I think that things are just going to have to get better. But what I'm hearing that troubles me is solutions that are coming from the community, and they seem to reflect this dark vibe from what I'll call the unaccountable authority. I hear people getting excited about freedom and individuality and anonymity, but why? Sure, under the tyranny of the unaccountable authority, we have to be able to hide, but are we going to, I'm worried that, are we defining ourselves through the looking glass of a common enemy? When I look at these values, the freedom, the individuality, the anonymity, these things that are to a certain extent encoded in things like Tor and to a much greater extent in things like Bitcoin, these are paradoxically the values that the unaccountable authority relies upon. The individualism that forces us into our apartments and behind our televisions and into the factories and the offices where we're used, and the anonymity which isolates us and makes us not know our neighbors and makes us into automatons and these servants of the state, and the freedom, the lack of community coherence which empowers the criminal class, this phenomenally small group of people who do these terrible things and make us run begging to the unaccountable authority for protection. This thought process began with a future projection. Right now, we are moving toward a point where we are going to have a world with entirely anonymous money. And are we going to be prepared for this? How are we going to answer the blackmail markets? How are we going to answer anonymous extortion? What about kidnap and ransom, where GPS coordinates of the victim is bound and gagged, sold to the highest bidder? What about assassination markets? Dark sites where the powerful come to silence the weak, either by overt force or by just slowly inching up the bounty on the big death board. You may say, oh, not my problem, I just build the tools. But it is your problem, and it's my problem, and it's my grandmother's problem, and the old man on the metro and the young couple in the park. It's everybody's problem. And those people out there, the non-technical people, the people who don't understand crypto and onion routing and these things, they're going to demand solutions. And these are solutions that some ambitious politician is going to be only too happy to provide. Will it be internet user licenses, or computer registration, or software development licenses? I'm sure that the major software and network companies will be only too pleased to see an effective end to competition. And we can already see telltale signs of this infrastructure emerging in the Intel UEFI Secure Boot and the Microsoft developer certificates. These things won't happen, though, because most people are good, right? And without responsibility, without having responsibility for one's actions, it only takes one person. It's a good thing that governments never use false flag attacks to expand their power, right? So, what are we going to do about this? It's not about onion routing. It's not about anonymity in one technological context. It's about the overall scheme. How are our protocols going to address these concerns and these situations? It might seem that there's nothing that can be done, but that couldn't be any less true. We have the power. We decide what the protocols will be. We define the values which our technologies will support. We are unstoppable because we're all popes. Thank you.
because we're all folks.